Hello, my name is Andrew Boswell, and welcome to my Pay As You Throw presentation. So, first, I want to introduce the issue. By 2050, the World Bank projects that our global waste production will rise by about 70%. And the United States itself produces about 12% of global municipal waste, even though it only composes about 4% of the population. You can contrast this to a country like China and also India, both of which combine to make about 30% of the population. However, they only produce about 20% of the waste. Most municipal solid waste, which you can abbreviate as MSW, ends up in a landfill. There are over 3,000 active landfills and 10,000 inactive ones in the United States. So the scope of the problem is huge. We divert way too much waste to landfills. Now, what do landfills do? Well, they emit methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas which absorbs 85 times more heat than carbon dioxide. They also have clay and or plastic liners, which help to prevent the waste from leaking into groundwater. However, unfortunately, they often do leak, and that waste does get into groundwater, and it can contaminate groundwater sources. The decomposition of waste in landfills also produces ammonia, which can leak into nearby water sources like lakes and ponds and rivers, and that can cause eutrophication of those water sources. And this is when uh, an increase in photosynthetic life within those water sources can actually start to choke those water sources and prevent things from living inside them. So, where does all the waste go? Well, the United States lags behind Europe in sustainable waste diversion. There's less waste that is recycled, and less that goes to energy from waste plants. And energy from waste plants are basically incinerators. A lot of people think that incinerators are dirty. However, they can be extremely clean. It all depends on the filtering process that's installed in the end of it. And they can actually help with landfill diversion a lot. So, goal setting within the United States has been left completely up to individual states. There's no federal waste diversion recommendations at all. And some states have set some pretty ambitious targets. Like California. California currently diverts about 40% of its waste from landfills, meaning towards recyclables, and a very, very small percentage to incinerators. However, California's goal is to divert 70% of municipal solid waste from landfills by 2030. Now, this goal of 70% diversion was actually set in the early 2000s and was originally set for 2020. So we actually missed that goal, and now it's been pushed back to 2030. To be able to meet that goal is going to be very difficult. And here you can see a diagram of some of the ways that we can actually meet that goal. The first is through recycling. So once you're done with plastics or any recyclable product, you can throw it away in the recycling bin, and that is going to be taken to a materials recovery facility where it's going to be cleaned and processed and recycled into pellets. And then those pellets are going to go to another factory, and then they can be made into all kinds of different new products like t-shirts, furniture, bottles, bags, all kinds of things. And those are going to go back into your home. So that's not the only thing that can be done with plastics. They can also be thrown in the trash. And really what you do with that trash matters a lot. Some of that trash can be transited to an incinerator. So plastic materials that are not recycled should be placed in curbside garbage and bins for pickup, where they need to go to an incinerator. And incinerator, the emissions can be subject to strict control standards, where they have scrubbers to remove all the toxins from the emissions. And then the power can actually be used to turn turbines, and those turbines create electricity, which can be transited right back into your home. And the remaining ash from the process can actually go to the landfill itself. However, it's only about 10% the size of the original product. So it really, really reduces the size, and it allows us to use our landfills a little bit more efficiently. So, what's really the solution here? Well, it's pay as you throw. So, pay as you throw is a usage pricing model for disposing of municipal solid waste. And instead of paying for your waste management through a flat rate system, which is most common today, you only pay for what you throw away. This makes trash collection a lot more similar to current models for electricity and water use, where the consumer already pays by the units used. So it's much more efficient. So, how does it work? Well, there's several different models. The first is trash bags. So, collectors will only collect designated trash bags that can be bought at a lot of local convenience stores, supermarkets, things like that. And so they'll only collect trash that's put in these special bags. Another option is to have stickers. So these stickers can be purchased from, again, convenience stores, supermarkets, things like that, or can be mailed to you directly by the local government. And you can put these stickers on any bag, but trash collectors will only pick up bags with one of these designated stickers. There's also specific types of bins. So some municipalities actually charge based on the size bin that you have. They don't charge a different amount depending on whether the bin is full or not. It doesn't really matter, but they do charge based on the size of your bin. And you can actually choose to have a smaller bin and get charged a lower price. However, if you have too much trash for the smaller bin and you put it beside the bin, you're going to be charged an additional amount. And then the most accurate and helpful way of doing a pay as you throw system is weight based. So, collection trucks or garbage cans can be weighed to determine the amount of garbage that houses produce, and they can charge based on the actual weight of garbage that you throw away. And this can be done through ultrasonic sensors in the roof, the lid of garbage cans, or through weight sensors in the bottom. And all of these weight sensors, which are, again, the most accurate way to do this, they can be connected to Internet of Things devices. So this allows them to basically have cloud monitoring. So all of this data is uploaded to the cloud, and things like the city council and recycling plants, as well as garbage collection services, can monitor these data points, and they can actually make decisions based on real hard data. So there's a huge benefit to having these devices within bins. So let's talk about some of the impacts. First, to the environment, it actually gives consumers an incentive to recycle and compost because it's cheaper. You don't get charged for recycling and composting things. So it gives consumers a reason to recycle and compost. It also helps reduce dependence on landfills. So less things thrown away means less things going to the landfill. And it encourages consumers to be more thoughtful about the products that they buy. They may actually choose to buy less single use plastic. Now, less waste means less pollution from trucks required to transport the materials to their final destination. So it actually reduces air pollution as well. Now, there are also some economic impacts. The current payment models that trash or waste collection companies use are definitely really opaque, can be difficult to measure the actual cost to consumers. Uh, Currently, consumers pay for trash through their taxes most of the time, and that's charged directly to the city government. So it's difficult to tell how much each consumer is actually paying when all of that trash or all of that tax revenue is actually going to the city government, and then it's getting, repackaged again and paid out to waste collection services. Now, pay-as-you-throw models save towns and cities money because less trash is diverted to landfills. For example, there's Massachusetts towns that switched to pay-as-you-throw models. They saw a 30% reduction in municipal solid waste. That's good business. And then finally, equity. So current flat rate models charge high polluters the exact same amount as low polluters. This means that pay-as-you-throw models let people pay only for the pollution they create. So lower income families, which tend to produce less waste, will therefore pay lower waste collection fees. So in conclusion, technology has the power to revolutionize the waste collection industry. We must invest in order to achieve the goals we have set. Thank you so much.